Blessed morning, YouTube. Blessed again. Another live video from Jason B. See on my title, we will never bow. We as believers will not go bow knee to no one, we not go bow knee to Satan, we not go bow knee to our bosses at work when them tell us to do certain things that we not like it. That we want to bow our knees in Jesus' name. And the next thing beside that is awakening the remnant. There will be God is rising up some people who is unashamed of Him, who is unashamed of the gospel. So people, you can see some shirt in my background, awakening the remnant. Jesus is calling of them in all types of colors. In the blue, in the black, awakening the remnant. Jesus is calling. This is my ministry. The Lord spoke to me and said, "Oh, Jason, it's time to go out and launch, and to declare my name." I want to share a passage of scripture with you guys from Daniel chapter 3. I'm not going to read all of it. A very popular scripture. It talks about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I want to read from verses 19. Start from the top, but I don't want to keep you guys long. Then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude towards them changed. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual, and commanded some of the strongest soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So these men, wearing their robes, turbans, and other clothes, were burned and thrown into the blazing furnace. The king was so urgent, and the furnace, verse 22, the king command was so urgent, and the furnace so hot that the flames of the fire killed the soldier who took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. More pause right there. So the the soldiers that the soldier that Nebuchadnezzar took to throw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace died where the fire was hot. Jesus' name. And these men firmly tied fell into the blazing furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement and asked his adversary, "Weren't these 3 men tied up and thrown into the fire?" They replied, "Certainly, your majesty." He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unarmed, and the fourth looked like a son of God's." Yeah, that fourth man was Jesus Christ himself. That fourth man. It was 3 of them get thrown in the furnace, but the fourth man was Jesus. And Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out here." So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and scraps, perfect governors and royal adversaries crowded around them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was a hair of their head signed. Their robes were not scorched, and they and there was no smell on of them. Sorry. and there was no smell of fire on them. Imagine that. A man sure in a furnace, and the Most High God protect them. Them not even smell like them a get burned. Nebuchadnezzar, praise be to God our Father, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servant. They trusted in him and defied the king's command, and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve and worship any gods except their own gods. Therefore, I decree that the people of any nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be cut into pieces, and their house be torn into piles of rubble. For no God, no other God can save. In this way, then King, then King promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Listen, people of God. Imagine, put yourself in Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shoes, you know? When everybody have to bow down to the God, them God, what Nebuchadnezzar put out there, when everybody they have to do that. Imagine that big crowd and three of them just stand up so. When everybody bow, all of them just stand up so. Some now bow. Oh my God. I know my God. And they said to them, nah, bow. And Nebuchadnezzar now say, alright, you're a bad man, you're head hot. Yo, soldier, want to eat up the furnace hotter, 7 times hotter. And while Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego was taken to the furnace, those men died because the heat of the furnace was unbearable. So they died. So them throw them in now, dash them in. They get them and say them dash them in. After them throw them in, them did it. I don't know how long they were down there before someone alert them. So them down there for like an hour. So you know them they down them down there for an hour. So um a soldier went and look over and see them. I said, hold on, how them man are not dead yet? And the furnace is hot. And when that person looked down there and said a fourth man, and the man said, this look like the Son of God. Jesus himself was down there, protecting them, covering them. Maybe them all a reason too. Scripture never really tell the detail, but I guess God a reason with them down there. So no man, no worry man, everything I go good. So it's there we're supposed to reach as believers. But now bow. And it does line up with my ministry, awakening the remnant. Jesus is calling. At that time, At that time, those three men decided to tell them, no, stand up. No, them not bow them knee. Want to no bow my knee. I stand for righteousness. I stand for holiness. I stand for purity. No, sell out. And it's there we as believers must focus to be at. We're not compromising the gospel, people of God. Now, bow. A good Friday time, what I feel led to share this. In this crisis, in these times, we as believers are supposed to just say, oh no, we're not bowing, you know. Talk me today in the devil, we're not bow. We are stand for righteousness, we are stand for holiness. So people of God, I want to stand with me. Here, awakening the remnant, awakening me like I want to resurrect something dead in your life. Awakening it, awaken the remnant. And next one too. Jesus is calling. Jesus is calling us to seek his face. You know, salvation is simple because Jesus said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. The believers want to encourage someone to bow on the knee. Don't bow on the knee. Stand up for righteousness. When the devil carry Jesus, meet Jesus in the wilderness and say, oh, you know, hungry, turn them there in a bread now. And Jesus said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word. Jesus uppercut him with the word. And then the last one, him come back, him come up and say, yo, it's all of the city, it's all of Las Vegas, it's all of Disneyland. That's all you need to make everything on your own. That Jesus said to worship the Lord your God only. Don't bow your knee to your bosses at work. Listen to them, but you're not going to bow your knee, you're not going to worship them. So people just like and share this video because this is a powerful word at this time. It is even ministering to me right now. Don't bow your knees. Let's see the two shirts in the background there. All colors, all different type of colors. You can get pink, you can get white, you know. And it's not my ministry is not about shirt sales. My ministry is about declaring Jesus across Jamaica. Not across Jamaica alone, but across the entire world. So people like and share this video. Send it to friends and family because the remnant is coming. And the next thing to part of my shirt sales is going to um the homeless. You know? I plan to cook up some stew chicken or some curry chicken and white rice and distribute out there on the street because people are in need and this is what we are called to do. And one more thing to young people, my focus is on the young people for this generation. So you too, as I said before, share this video and have a blessed weekend and a happy Good Friday. Love you all.